Hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to The Done Creative. For today's pick a card reading, we are going to be figuring out what you can expect for the month of April 2020. Can you guys believe we are already into April of 2020? What a crazy ride it's been so far this year, and I do want to preface this whole video by saying that I'm still getting over this kind of upper respiratory kind of cold thing. So my voice and my breathing is a little off, and I do cough a lot, so there may be some jump cuts as I'm hacking away, and I want to try to save your ears. So if you are new to pick a card readings, I just ask that you close your eyes, try to center your energy by taking a couple of deep cleansing breaths, and try to focus on piles number 1, 2, or 3. And as soon as you've selected your pile or piles, you can go ahead and check the description box or the top pinned comment below to jump directly to your reading. So without delaying this any further, I'm going to give you a moment to meditate on the cards, and then I will see you over at your reading. Alright, group number 1, I just want to say that my kids are home. My husband is working from home today as well, and there's a lot of noise. The dogs are barking and stuff, but I am upstairs locked away, so hopefully you won't hear too much of what they have going on. So let's figure out what you can expect for the month of April 2020. And as always with my monthly pick a card readings, we're going to go ahead and start with the tarot cards and then work our way up to the oracle cards. I think I've managed to avoid most of the glare. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with this card here. This is going to be the overall energy for the month of April. And you have the King of Air. So this is great. This is that King of Swords. So you're going to finally be able this month to finally speak your mind and be really confident. And if there is this truth or this kind of communication block that you've been having, it feels like this is the month that that's going to kind of clear up and you're going to be wanting to communicate with people more. So even though I am going to pop that up, that is a little bit hard to see. Okay, so even though we are in most of the world at this point in March when I'm filming this, in quarantine or self-isolation and social distancing and all of that stuff, even though we are experiencing that, it looks like you guys in the month of April are going to be reaching out to people, even if that is just online through social media or texting people, calling your family and friends, stuff like that. You're going to be more connected and wanting to speak with other people. And this is a great time to get advice from those who know more than you on a subject, whatever that could be with your career or personal life, love life, whatever. And it just feels like a time where you're going to be trying to really balance out your kind of mental and emotional states, because a lot of times we can get really hung up in our emotions or really hung up on the thinking, and this King of Air is usually pretty balanced in the way he thinks and feels and even his physical actions. So it feels to me like you guys will be trying to balance out your physical life, mental life, spiritual life even, and that mental life. I don't know if I said mental or emotional, but emotional, physical, spiritual, mental. Those are the 4. So yeah, you guys are going to be working on, it just feels like communication is going to be really important to you guys over this month. So the past energies coming in from March, maybe even February, we have the 4 of Fire, 4 of Wands. This is a card all about peace of mind and being really happy and abundant in life and just that really happy home life. So maybe over these past few months you have had a pretty happy and content home life, and this could also be like an indication of you completing a project that you'd been working on or having this sense of completion where something is concerned. And for some of you that may be leaving a job, like you didn't leave on bad terms or anything, but you've left a job in the recent past and you're starting a new journey, or there's some sort of an ending that is kind of a bittersweet. I'm almost feeling like a bittersweet vibe with this, but that's kind of the energy you're coming into this month with. And then in the present moment, the month of April, we have that 4 of Water. So here's where emotions come in, and you guys are going to be pretty good at balancing those out, but you're going to be feeling like you're missing out on something. And I think a lot of us, because we're all around the globe pretty much being forced to stay home or go within and just kind of quiet down a little bit. If you are one of those lucky people that still gets to continue working and doing your day-to-day life, that's great, but you as the person watching this are going to be feeling like you're missing out on something, or just kind of discontent with life, or like things are really boring, or just kind of this kind of blah feeling about how things are going. But this is also a card that kind of gets you to do a little more introspection and get you to really open your eyes to what's available, what opportunities are happening for you out there, or what possibilities are there for you to create the life that you want. Because this is a time, especially if you are someone who is either in isolation because you're sick, or you're in isolation because you're doing the social distancing, or it's mandated by the government, whatever scenario you are in, when we're forced to go within, that's when we get a lot of answers. And a lot of times we're so busy going, doing, that we may have these signs and synchronicities appearing in our life, but we're not really paying attention to the signs. But this is just letting me know that you guys are going to start paying attention to the signs, and you're going to really be seeing the opportunities that lay before you and the possibilities that are available to you. So in the future conditions, we have, this is kind of the end of April into May, and even June, like hints of June as well. And we have the King of Water. So you guys are going to be continuing on with kind of getting in touch with what it is you want, opening your eyes to those possibilities, opening your heart and mind to the people around you, feeling really trustworthy of those that you're in communication with, and just feeling like you're really connecting with people on a level that maybe you haven't in a long time. And again, if you are someone who's locked down or you're still working, it doesn't matter, because we can still be in connection with people we love through text, email, or even face-to-face if you're working out in the world right now. And you feel like you want to give of your heart and of yourself. And this could also be a card where you're wanting to volunteer your time or give back in some way. And I just see someone who is like giving their friends and family all this really good advice, and even someone who does kind of similar to what I'm doing here. Maybe you're doing tarot readings for people to help calm them down, doing little personal readings to be like, see, everything's going to be okay. You don't need to worry. Something like that, where you're giving of your time and energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be your money, but even if you are donating money to food banks or shelters or something like that, that could also be what this card is suggesting. And then for your best path to follow this month of April, we have the Five of Earth, or that Five of Pentacles. So any fears you have surrounding money or lack thereof coming in for you this month and in the near future, this is just saying to just kind of release those worries. Your best path to follow is not to worry about the money, because this already feels to me like, even if you are someone who's not bringing in an income and you don't have a lot of savings, it feels like you're going to be taken care of. I just feel this sense of peace and calm where this is concerned, and it feels like there's going to be people stepping up in your life to help out in some way. And that doesn't always have to be a monetary thing. It can be a neighbor lending you some sugar, or accepting help from others. Maybe your spouse watches your kids so you have a few hours so that you can just take a breather. Help doesn't always look like money. So it can be some ways like that, where just make sure if you're not receiving help, you can still reach out to others for help. And you can also always reach out to your guides and angels for help. If you're stressed out, take a couple of deep breaths and just really recenter yourself, ground yourself at this time is really important. And this is usually a card about uncertain self-employment. Like if you are self-employed, this is a time of great uncertainty for a lot of people, but those who own their own businesses or are trying to start their own businesses, this can be a really, really uncertain time. And this is just calling you to not worry. Just make sure you're still taking the steps you need to do and putting the work in that you need to do. If that's something you are wanting to do, is to continue to work, just keep working, keep fighting the good fight, because that money, that help is all going to come to you. and you're going to be taken care of. I feel very calm and peaceful where this is all concerned, so no worries. So for the wish coming true for you this month, we have the Three of Air, and this is that, I call it the heartbreak card, that Three of Swords. So because this is your wish coming true, that sadness you felt, or that really, just feeling of complete desolation or loss that you've had, is turning around for you in April. You're going to start to feel this sense of peace, where before you may have just felt sadness or despair. You're going to feel this sense of almost empowerment, and you're going to be healing. This is a time to allow yourself to heal. Even if you haven't been sick, even if you feel like you've had a pretty good life lately, that doesn't mean there aren't things we can all heal deep within us. And all you need to do is kind of look within and see if there's anything that just feels off or shaky, and you can always heal that. You can give it to your guides and angels, and they will help you heal that. And this is also a time you can also be forgiving of those around you, not taking things so personally, and just because this is your wish coming true, it feels like there's going to be someone in your life that you have this sense of forgiveness toward, whereas before it was really hard to just let something they did go. And I feel like for someone, this is a parent, especially a father figure, where you're just, realizing that this father figure, or, whatever your scenario is, did the best they could with the consciousness level they were at. The traumas they'd experienced had probably shaped who they were, and they were acting out of their own traumas. And I think a lot of you guys are going to realize that this person, it wasn't a personal thing. This was them hurting, and they reflected that out and projected it onto you. So this will be a time of healing and forgiveness for you guys. So that's a beautiful wish coming true, because we can all do with a little healing and forgiveness in our lives. Then we have the Seven of Air, so as your outcome card. So we're feeling like that Seven of Swords, or that Seven of Air, just feels like there are plans that just aren't working out, or they need revisited or revised in some way. And I think the collective is going through a plans that need revision time out right now. This is a time out, and the timing is just off for any kind of big goals that you were trying to really move forward on or fast track. A lot of us have been, the reins have been pulled back, like, whoa, Nelly, it's time to just slow down for a minute. We're all taking a time out. Even if you are still working, the things you're working on just aren't moving forward at the pace you want. But I do feel for a lot of you that doesn't mean that your plans or the things that you're working on can't have this sense of fulfillment for you, because especially if you're stepping up, if you're one of the people that's still working during this time, you're stepping up and you're serving others right now. Even though you're being paid for it, you're still giving your time, your effort, you're putting yourself out there when there's this virus going around, so you're putting yourself in the line of fire, so to speak. So you are giving of yourself, but I think that some of you will have a sense of accomplishment with some of your work, but others of you may just feel like no matter how hard you try, things just aren't moving forward. But really, in reality, this isn't a time for us all to try to push forward and get things done. This is a time for the collective to go within. So if you feel like things aren't moving forward at a pace you want, just know it's okay. You can go within and revisit those plans, revise them, mix them up, maybe eliminate some things, maybe add a couple of cool things, whatever it is you need to do. It's kind of a mini life review card as well. So I think that's all I'm getting from the tarot, but let's go ahead and jump into the oracle cards for some additional guidance. Okay, it's a little crooked, but I think it's fine. Okay, so we're just going to start over here. So we have the Whale card, and it says here breach. So when a whale breaches the surface, they are kind of taking a little time out, a little breather, just kind of like what we were talking about with the Seven of Air. They can't stay up there long, but it's just this nice little break that they can have and kind of recenter themselves, and then they're right back to it. So this to me feels like a breach in our regular life. We are taking a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a timeout, And you guys will really benefit from that, because with this Chantal card, it says here new romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. And although this is a romantic card, I'm reading it both ways, because of course we are working on our romantic relationships when we have no choice. We're locked in close quarters, so we're going to have to confront any negativity or toxicity that's built up with relationships that are close to us, especially if we're kind of forced into close quarters with people over the next weeks or months or however long. But that's not to say those of you who aren't with your significant other or a friend or a family member that you can't still really connect with them and take the relationship to another level, because we still have modes of communication open, and communication, remember, is going to be a really big part of what you have going on this month. Then we have the love card. So for many of you, that is going to be working on your love relationship, really opening those lines of communication and dealing with any past baggage, past garbage that you just want to clear out of your relationship, negative cycles, toxic loops, anything like that that you just want to be done with, because you are taking that kind of life review to where you can realize, maybe these things in our relationship weren't working, but that doesn't mean the relationship itself isn't working. It's just the way you guys have been doing business as usual really maybe isn't working anymore. And this is just saying, you guys can choose at any time to revise how you were doing things and create a new blueprint for your relationship. And then here we have spend more time outdoors, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Even if you're someone who lives in an apartment complex, I think, as far as I know, they're still letting people out to walk dogs and go for little walks and stuff. If you can, it would be very beneficial to get outdoors, even if you can just open a window and look out into the sunshine, and especially if it's during the day, don't look directly into the sun, but you can always close your eyes and turn your face toward the sun, because there is beneficial information coming into our awareness from the sun. You can benefit from that nice little dose of vitamin D and all of that. And then jumping over to the Serapis Bay card, this is all about ascension. This is what a lot of us have been waiting for. This big collective timeout, this collective sigh of relief, ascension. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. And I think because you guys do have a fair amount of air cards, you might be getting caught up in your mental activity or thinking too hard and long about stuff, and maybe even going down some conspiracy theory rabbit holes. And I just want you guys to make sure you're not putting too much of your energy into things that are going to take your energy from you. Even if that is discovering truth about things, make sure you're replenishing yourself with knowing that you do have power to change the reality that you're seeing, because those of you starseeds or light workers that are watching this pile, just know you're on the right track. Take that breather, take that time out, and really get centered and start communicating from that place of love to all of your relationships in your life and even people on social media. I think it's really important at this time to, with all that fear and fake news going around and everything, that we need to stay centered in our hearts and make sure we're empowering each other and lifting each other up at this time. So yeah, I think that's all I'm seeing for you guys. You'll have to let me know below what you thought. And as always, you guys, thanks so much again for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you back at the Den Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 2. I just want to preface this by saying that my husband and kids are home. My husband's working from home, and the kids are, 2 boys, rough and tumble, having some fun downstairs, so you might hear them laughing and playing a little bit, but I'm hoping to keep the noise level down. So let's go ahead and figure out what you can expect for the month of April. And as always with my monthly pick a card readings, we are going to be starting with the tarot cards and then working our way over to the oracle cards. Okay, hope those are even. But we have, for your overall energy of the month, we have the Wheel, which is perfect because this is a time of positive change. Even though things may feel scary out in the world right now, that doesn't mean that as an individual you aren't having a time where you're having some really positive changes coming into your life. And Even though a lot of the world is standing still, that doesn't mean that your personal goals or dreams are at a halt right now. It feels like you guys are still moving forward on some of your, I feel like it's a dream that you've had or hopes that you've had is still moving forward at this time. It's not on halt, it's not on lockdown, and fortune is really on your side this month. So any dreams that you've had, it feels like there may be some wish coming true for you guys this month. And for some of you, that may be as simple as being able to just spend some really good quality time with your family. Because a lot of us are really busy and we don't get to do that very often. And this is a time out for a lot of people right now around the world. And it feels like you guys are just, this isn't going to be some scary, sad time for you. It feels still very productive, even if it's just on an internal or spiritual level. This is time for a lot of us to clean house internally as well as externally. So this looks great so far. So let's keep diving in and find out what we can expect. So this is your past energies coming in from March and even February. We have the Lovers card. So there may have been a pretty significant relationship in your life that you've been spending more time with or putting more effort into lately, and this could also have been a decision that you've been weighing carefully. It feels like you guys have already made this decision, whatever it is, because this is in the past, but this is great energy to carry you into the present moment, into this month. And this is a card about good health. So if you haven't had good health lately, this feels like, because it is coming into this month, that you will start having better health. And then for others of you, this feels like you kind of are like wondering, how did I avoid getting all the colds, flus, and other sicknesses of early 2020 that everyone else had? And this just feels like you're going to continue on feeling healthy and happy. So your present moment, your April of 2020, you have the Queen of Fire. So this is great, that Queen of Wands. You're really coming into your own. Even though the rest of the world seems to be going to sleep or kind of slowing down, it doesn't feel like you guys are slowing down that much. Even if your day-to-day routine is completely switched up, your energy still feels like it's very busy. So this is time for you to just go ahead and stretch your wings and fly, because you are very creative right now. You are very in the zone, and this is a great card to carry you into the spring. And I just saw someone, kind of plotting out, well, where am I going to plant these things in my garden? And you're still continuing on with all the things in your life. And if you are someone who is a stay-at-home mom, I'm just feeling like you're kind of like, yeah, everybody's home and there's less running around, but it's still kind of just business as usual for you during this lockdown. And that could also even indicate that if you are working out in the world somewhere, that you are one of the people who is still working. And I do see someone who's a nurse that's watching this. It's still business as usual for you, and you're just carrying forward and just very confident. You're very confident in everything in this already. Just feels really good, and I'm not picking up any kind of worry or negativity at all right now. So into your future conditions, this is the end of April into May and even the early part of June. We have the Queen of Water. So this is just saying that you guys really are trusting your intuition at this time, and your relationships really are going to another level. So whatever work you've put in the past with this Lovers card, and that doesn't have to just be a romantic relationship, that could be any relationship, but coming into the end of April, into May and early June, you're really taking your relationships to another level, really connecting with people, and you're really putting the care into others and yourself. So that self-care routine looks like you've stepped that up a notch. Maybe you're taking extra vitamins and just really getting enough hydration and treating your body top notch, and you're doing the same for your family or friends. You're encouraging them to do the same, and it feels like this is a very good time. You are someone who's helping others. Maybe you're healing others and just being that empathetic ear or shoulder for other people to cry on at this time. And you are the rock. You feel like the rock in your social situation. So even if you're someone's daughter, you're the rock for your parent, or You're the rock for your children, your friends, whatever your scenario is. You feel like the person others are going to when they're falling apart because they see you're just shining so bright right now. And it is really inspiring for other people. So then in your best path to follow, we have another queen, you guys. 3 queens in a row. You guys are, wow, this is amazing. So you guys are really, kicking ass and taking names with everything you've got going on right now. You're making quick, good decisions. You're clearing away the things that just aren't serving you anymore, whether that's, as we were talking about all these relationships, maybe there are relationships in your life you're just kind of letting go by the wayside. Maybe you're getting things kind of decluttered around your home, or even just in your energetic field. Maybe you're saging everything. Maybe you're doing a lot of mantras or meditations, and I just see you guys just really thriving during this time. You're on fire. You're taking care of yourself. You're really embodying, whether you're male or female, you're really embodying that divine feminine and allowing things to incubate, to be able to give birth to something really beautiful coming up. Even though you guys are still moving forward with things, you're still at times taking that step inward to really figure out what you need to do. And the Queen of Air is also kind of funny and witty, so you may be like kind of seeing the humor in the situation. Maybe you're sharing funny memes online or just trying to keep people's spirits really light at this time, and you're just kind of, that comedian or comic relief for people. So that's really a great attitude to carry you into the coming months. So the wish coming true for you this month, we have the King of Fire. Look at all this royalty and major arcana. You guys are it. You guys are the ones people need to be acting like or using as an example of how to act during these times, because it just feels like you guys are just unfazed by what's going on. But your gift or your wish coming true this month is you're just so very focused on the vision of your future, focused on your family or your loved ones, focused on being a leader. Leader energy, major leader vibes with this. And you're giving advice to people. Maybe you're even seeking advice from someone you feel is more sage than you are, but you guys feel like, top dog as far as knowing what to do with these energies and what's going on at this time. You guys were made for times like these. I almost feel like you have said at one point during this last month or so that it's like, this is what I was born to do. This is what I'm here for. I feel like some of you have felt like you've said that or you felt that within. So then in your outcome, we have the Ten of Fire. So I knew it was going to come to a halt just a little bit at some point during this reading, because you guys, you can't keep going without a little bit of step back. So with that Ten of Fire or Ten of Wands, sometimes you just feel overburdened or like there's too much work to do or there's too much going on. So you may start out the month, with all this amazing queen energy and just really ready to charge through, dive through with all this fire. You have that drive, that passion to get things done, but just again checking back in with that Queen of Water and that self-care. Make sure you are recharging the batteries. And I feel like you guys probably will, but just make sure you're not really going so gung-ho that you forget to recharge batteries, because you don't want to overextend your energy to yourself or others at this time. You want to make sure you're giving to others, giving to yourself, taking a time out. Giving to others, giving to yourself, taking a time out. And just make sure you're not taking on too much, because it can lead to stress, which will also weaken your immune system. But to me, it feels like you guys will heed this warning and just make sure you're taking enough time to, step back, read a book, take a nice salt bath or something. Just really allow yourself some time away from all the thinking and all the doing and all the moving forward with things. So yeah, not too shabby so far with this tarot section. So let's go ahead and jump into the oracle cards. Okay, so we have the Meadow card, which is all about vulnerability. So with all of this energy and things moving forward, you just want to make sure that you are still being vulnerable, allowing yourself time to be vulnerable. So if you do feel overwhelmed at some point, when you feel like crying or you feel like just, getting some energy out in some way, make sure you're allowing yourself the time and energy to do that, because you don't want to let that build up. But this is also saying that during this time, it is safe for you to be vulnerable to other people. When other people are coming to you like, how do you have it all together? And you're like, I might look like I have it all together, but here are some of my worries. And, this is how I overcome them and realize that I don't have to fall down and fear what the media is telling me. You can be vulnerable and share your process with people. And I think it is very important for us to humble ourselves at this time and be vulnerable and show that vulnerable side, because I always say that vulnerability is a superpower. It's not a weakness, as we've been told. Being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. It's actually a superpower, because being vulnerable is very hard, especially if you're a man watching this. Being a man and being vulnerable is probably one of the hardest things men have to do, because as a society, we've said men shouldn't cry, men shouldn't show their emotions, men should be strong and rock and, go, and absolutely not. They should be allowed to be vulnerable just as much as a woman or a child. We all deserve that vulnerability, because that's how we can really connect. When we can get vulnerable with the people we know and love, that's how we can connect even deeper than those surface level things. Then we have the Maya card. Schooling, study, and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. So, not to have you taking on too much, but if you are looking to do something or learn something, make sure you're taking it in small steps and you're not just diving into some rabbit hole and getting lost for hours, because you can expend too much of your energy if you do that. But it feels like learning something during this time is going to be beneficial, a very beneficial use of your time, because you guys are going to be open to learning and discovering new things about yourself and others and ways of the world. And just, your angels will help you through this process. So if you're looking for something to learn, just put it out there. Hey, what should I be focusing on right now? And your angels will start putting signs in your way to let you know what those things could be. So then we have the nurture card, and that just goes well with that Queen of Water energy. You just want to make sure you're nurturing yourself and others. And she's out in nature. I think that's a very, being out in beautiful nature, taking those deep breaths of that fresh air, getting the sunshine on your shoulders and on your face is just very important at this time, because it does raise your immune system by being closer to nature. So make sure you're nurturing yourself and others. And then 3 is that card all about creativity. So maybe do some fun, creative things out in nature. That would be a really good use of your time. And then here we have the message: you and your loved ones are safe, and of course you are. You are protected at this time. You are here to make a better world, and now's the time. You were made for this, you were born for this, and you're going to be safe, you're going to be protected as you move forward this month and into the future. And then we have the Lady Venus card, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. So you are getting majorly prophetic dreams or insights. Maybe you're just washing dishes and you have this vision of something. Pay attention to that. Maybe even journal these things or write them down so that you can start understanding what's going on in the world and what's coming. Because a lot of times we like to all go on YouTube and get information from other people, but our best source of information is from going within and getting it from our higher self. But with this Queen of Water, and just using your intuition, you're going to know what to do with any information you get. And maybe that will also lead you to learning new things and using that information to help other people or to spread awareness about things that are going on in the world that maybe other people don't know about. That feels like you guys are kind of almost that messenger this month and into the near future about things that are going on in the world. So yeah, I think that's all I'm seeing for you guys, so you'll have to let me know below what you thought. And as always, you guys, thanks so much again for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really truly do hope to see you back at the Done Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 3. So before we jump into this, I just wanted to say that my husband is working from home and my kids are here and they're playing games down there, laughing, having fun and everything. So if you do hear them, I do apologize. I'm trying to keep them as quiet as possible, but you know, with a 9 and 5-year-old, that's not always feasible. So let's go ahead and figure out what you can expect for the month of April 2020. And as always with my monthly pick a card readings, we're going to be starting with the tarot cards and then working our way through these oracle cards. Okay, so for the overall energy coming through for you guys in this month of April 2020, we have the 8 of Air or the 8 of Swords, and this is that card of illusion. So it's not a bad card to get. It's just pointing out that if you are feeling trapped or stuck in a situation, it's just an illusion. You aren't really stuck. You aren't really trapped. A lot of times when we feel this way, we don't feel very confident, especially if we're making decisions. So we're kind of afraid to take any action in one way or another. And this is just kind of, I'm calling this because this is the overall energy. You may be in your head a lot about things and worrying about future outcomes, worrying about money. If I don't have the money to do this, then what? You know, things like that. And it's very understandable at a time like this, but this is just saying it's an illusion. You're not really in lack of anything. It is an illusion. And of course, when we're in these situations, it is very real. It is very scary. So I don't blame you for feeling that way, but this is just letting you know that that thinking is just an illusion and you're not really in these situations at all. You really aren't in a lack of anything right now. It's just your perception that you are, which is good news, because once we can change that perception, we can realize, okay, I'm taken care of, everything's fine. So let's all of my group 3, let's just take a big deep breath and let it out, because we're not going to get caught up in our heads and thinking worst case scenarios, because it's not serving anybody, especially not you guys. So let's figure out what we can do to combat this lack of self-confidence and this feeling of being trapped. So in your past, coming in from March and even February, we have the 3 of Water. So there may have been some sort of celebration in your family, maybe the birth of a baby or a wedding, a graduation, or not a lot of graduations going on right now, but you know, some sort of fun family event where even if you just had a family get together or a Sunday dinner, it just feels like you have recently connected with a lot of your loved ones. And for some of you, that might even be on social media. In March, maybe you spent a lot more time communicating with your loved ones because you had a lot of worries about what's going on in the world, and you're just keeping in better contact with people than you would, you know, during a normal month that's not in this crazy whatever this is of 2020. This is just saying to coming into these next, you know, into April and May, you want to allow yourself to let loose a little more and have some fun. But I'm feeling like you have, in March and maybe even the end of February, we're starting to strengthen a lot of connections with your relationships, parents, children, co-workers, friends, whatever. It feels like you're just bonding more with people during these times, and it's a great thing to be doing, us all coming together rather than tearing each other apart. As you can see on social media, that's not always the case. A lot of people are at each other's throats right now, but I feel like you guys are using this time to get closer to those you love and really even reach out to someone you do love and let them know that you're thinking about them today. You know, send them a cute little e-card. I don't think that's even a thing anymore. You know, like a little meme just saying, hey, I love you, or something like that, just to reach out and let someone know that you care. So for the month of April, we have the 2 of Water, which just kind of builds on what I was saying with that 3 of Water. You are really growing closer to these people you love, and that doesn't always have to be a romantic partner. That could be close friends, family, anybody. It could be anybody that you are really growing closer to, and Also with the Two of Water or Two of Cups comes this sense of forgiveness. So maybe you had been fighting with a parent or a friend or a child, whoever in your life. Maybe you had a falling out with someone, and during the month of April, you're kind of coming back to that person and saying, hey, I'm sorry for how I acted, or it hurt my feelings when you acted this way, but I kind of just want to put it in the past. Let's just move on from this. And there is some sort of positive resolution to a conflict that maybe you've been dealing with in your marriage, or if you're not married, maybe a friend or a family member. It just feels like it's a good coming back together card. And it's a great card to carry you into April because you are going to be strengthening those bonds with the people that really mean a lot to you in life. And then for your future conditions, look at all this water, you guys. And what a great card to get for your future conditions. The 10 of Water, that 10 of Cups, that absolute contented family life, that rewarding family life, and just happy emotional state. You're just feeling like everything's great. And that could just be because you did conquer these feelings of being trapped, and you realized, I'm not trapped. This is an opportunity for me to really, 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 really put in the time and effort that I hadn't maybe been too busy before or had other things going on. But now's the time you're really putting that effort into your family. Even if you're a single person living far away from family, like I was saying before, you can still reach out online. You can call your parent or a friend and just, really let them know how much they mean to you. And it's just a special time for everybody to get closer to each other. This is a card letting you know also, I take this as a spiritual card where you know that your guides and angels are looking out for you. And this is just that validation that they're giving you that wink of, yes, we're here. If you have any cares or worries about being trapped or lack of anything, let us know because we're here, we have your back. So your best path to follow this month, you have the Moon. And again, the Moon is that card about illusion. And if you are feeling stuck, just know that you are having that feeling of being stuck. You really aren't stuck. It's an illusion. So just don't fall into the illusion of feeling trapped or stuck. And also, the Moon is also about intuition. So make sure you're following your intuition. You may be getting really prophetic dreams right now, or just these insights where you need to do something, or you need to reach out to somebody, or you just have this feeling, that something's gonna happen, so you need to do X, Y, or Z, whatever that is. I don't mean this as like a doom and gloom kind of thing. I'm just saying, follow your intuition, whatever it's hitting on this month, follow your intuition. It's gonna be very important because on the flip side of intuition is feeling like you're out of control or in that illusion that you're not being taken care of. So just make sure you're really checking in with that intuition because it's gonna be really heightened this month, and it's going to be letting you know what you need to do. And just don't fall into the worry of, maybe your life's going great, but then you watch the news and then you're just taken down this path of destruction and terror, and you're like, oh my God, the world's falling apart. But is your world falling apart? Because if the answer is no, you can take a deep breath and, know that things are going to be okay. Things are going to work out the way they're supposed to. So the wish coming true for you guys this month, we have the Two of Earth. So because this is normally a card about balancing too many things, there's too much going on, and all these decisions that need to be made, because this is a wish coming true for you, it feels like that sense of too much going on is just going to be like things have slowed down enough for you that you can take that deep breath and really work on the things you want to work on. Even if it's some fun art project or creative project or writing or walking in nature or just playing board games with your kids, whatever it is, you're just taking a time out from all the bustle and hustle of our normal lives and realizing you can take a moment to read a book or do something fun. And all those decisions that needed to be made can kind of go on the back burner and just sit for a while. They're not crucial right now, and you're going to be having fun and making playful approach of things. You're not just going to be making all these decisions, doing all these things out of kind of autopilot like some of us tend to go into when we're just living a day-to-day life. These are a more fun and creative way you're making any decisions you need to make. So for your outcome, we have the Magician. That's great. So this is that, you're ready. You're ready to jump in. You're ready to do anything you need to do. And you have all the resources you need. So that feeling of lack that comes with this Eight of Air, hell no. You're taken care of. You have all the resources you need. Even if you feel like, I see someone, I don't know why I keep going to the garden analogies, but I see someone that wanted to start some seeds and they're like, well, I don't have those starter seed pack things. I have these seeds, but I don't really have the seed pack. Well, you're going to have to kind of improvise and use the resources you have on hand to manifest what you want. So you can find some old butter dishes or something like that, put some dirt in them and plant your seeds that way this year. Getting creative with the resources that you do have around your home. Maybe you are DIYing some sort of other thing that's not what I just said about the seeds, but you're just really taking stock in what you have and the resources available to you so that you can manifest the reality and the future that you want. And life, this is going to feel like maybe not so much right when you're in it, because we can get trapped in the illusion and the fear a little bit, but looking back years from now at this time, you're going to look back fondly about this time and, be like, remember that, remember back in 2020, the craziness of that year? Remember when we were all home and all the fun memories we made? I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting from this outcome. So this is going to be a time of definite emotion, because there is all this emotion with these water cards, but great transformation with these major arcana cards here as well. And it feels to me like, even though this is your overall energy, you guys are going to overcome this kind of feeling of lack pretty dang quickly, because you're going to realize how good things are going in your personal life. Even if the lives of others seem like they're falling apart online or in the news, you're realizing how good you have things, and you're going to not worry. So this looks really good. So let's go ahead and hop into the oracle cards for some additional guidance. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start over here with the childhood card, and it says innocence. So this is a time of going back to your inner child, that sense of innocence. And I look at this card and there's this pond and there's these two kids. Looks like one's holding a fishing pole, like they're gonna go fishing. So maybe this is just calling you to really get in touch with that inner child and think back to when you were a child. What was it that lit you up? What was it you loved to do? And maybe go do some of that. I know we can't really go out too many places, but if you can get out in nature, I know my childhood was spent in the dirt, in the trails, at the end of my road, in the woods. I loved that. And I think for some of you, this is just calling you back to your inner child to do the things that lit you up as a child. And I think for a lot of us, that does involve nature. So get out in some nature and ground yourself and just be a child. Have that childlike wonder and sense of innocence. I see someone like bent down, watching this, at this creek bed, and maybe you see this little fish just kind of moseying around, and you're just watching it with this sense of wonder, that you wouldn't really have during your normal life because things are so busy, but you have this time to just take a time out and just watch nature, watch the water flow. Watch the clouds move by, stuff like that. Stuff that just really would capture you as a child. Just go back to that, because there is a lot of beautiful insights you can gain by putting yourself in those shoes again. And then it says here with the Indriel card, you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all its inhabitants. And I feel like you guys will be doing that. You will be shining that light really bright with the people you love, especially during this time. But even if you can't get out and see a lot of people, you can still be on social media sharing really beautiful messages. And, with this Mercury card, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak with love and be heard. So many of you are going to be online talking about what's going on, but I feel like you're doing it from a very loving, beautiful, childlike way where you're giving people a sense of hope. It feels to me like, because this is that card of communication, there's going to be a lot of communication with the people you love. And again, whether you're living with them or not, it doesn't mean you can't reach out to them online or give them a phone call. Then we have feeling alone. And it does feel to me like even if you guys are with other people during this whole thing and you're seeing a lot of other people, maybe you just have this sense that other people aren't really on the same page as you at times. And I see someone that's actually living alone. Maybe you have a dog or a cat, and besides that dog or cat, you just feel so alone. But this is saying, reach out to those people you know and love. Even if you can't see them, reach out with a phone call, because you don't have to feel alone. And no matter what, we are never alone. We always have guides and angels that are watching our back, and they have us. All we have to do is reach out, and we can be able to feel them. Even though they're already there, when we reach out, they will let you know that they're there with a physical sign or maybe a number synchronicity or something like that. So you just know that you're never alone. And then we have a favorable outcome. So yeah, that favorable outcome next to this outcome card of the Magician. This month you're going to be okay. Everything looks good. There's no doom and gloom in any of these piles. Everything just feels like there's maybe some emotions, maybe some healing that needs to be done, but we're all going to be okay. So once again, we started with a big deep breath in. Let's take one more big deep breath in. Release. We got this, you guys. We got this. So I hope this resonated. You'll have to let me know below what you thought. And as always, you guys, thanks so much again for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you back at the Done Creative. All right, bye.